Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
And today we're going to be talking about a lawsuit against John Fogerty from his former bandmates. Here we go. Alright, so the members of Creedence Clearwater Revival, or the other Revisited, the other members who aren't John Fogerty, are suing him for slander, I guess, is what they're kind of suing them for, but not really.
Breach of contract?
Breach of a settlement agreement. So basically what has happened is back in 1972, Creedence Clearwater Revival broke up. And John Fogerty went on to form a solo career, and the other band members, I don't really know exactly what they did. I don't know their whole story, but anyway, around the late 80s, they ended up reforming without John Fogerty and went under the band name Creedence Clearwater Revisited, because I guess John Fogerty owned Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, I think he...
So around 1993, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the Revisited crew played, but John Fogerty refused to show up with his former bandmates. And 3 years after that, he sued them for using the name Creedence Clearwater Revisited. They eventually ended up settling out of court in 2001. And since then, John Fogerty's done several interviews expressing his dislike of them using a name like CCR.
Well, that's even being a little bit...
I'm oversimplifying it.
We're oversimplifying. He really said that he would prefer they didn't. And that's honestly the most he said.
That's about as
So...
Yeah. Which apparently is a violation of the settlement agreement from that lawsuit from 2001 when they settled. So now what's happening is Creedence Clearwater Revisited are suing John Fogerty because he's touring, playing albums by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and they're suing him for basically the same reason that John Fogerty sued them for using the name CCR. But he's not really using the name CCR. He's performing as John Fogerty, but he's saying that he's performing these songs in these albums.
CCR,
yeah.
Which he is.
And he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's entitled to, because he wrote these songs. And actually, in 1985, he got sued. He came out with a song called Old Man Down the Road. And I guess his old record company owned the publishing rights to all the CCR songs. And so he sued them because Old Man Down the Road sounded like a couple of CCR songs.
He was sued for sounding like himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So
eventually the judge said this is stupid, and they settled. But John Fogerty is not a stranger of weird lawsuits. It seems his career is plagued with
ever
weird
since
lawsuits.
The CCR broke up, they just kind of followed him. Yeah. I think he said.
But we were saying, like, this is like, it would be like Paul McCartney going out and playing, I'm going to play the White Album in its entirety, and saying, see Paul McCartney live playing an entire Beatles album. And then Ringo Starr saying, wait a minute. You can't say that you're playing Beatles.
And
Yoko and Olivia Harrison saying, you can't play Beatles music because, that's a specific thing. You can't do that. It's like that. I understand where they're coming from. The other guys, I understand where they're coming from in a certain sense that, it probably wasn't a good idea for him to express his opinions about, even because he knew that he wasn't allowed to do that.
He was asked though.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would have come off worse, saying that he preferred that they didn't, or just come out and saying, I am legally obligated not to say something. To me, that sounds worse. That makes people go,
does sound worse, but then
it's that bad, huh?
Yeah. But that does sound worse, but then he doesn't run the risk of getting sued again.
This is true. So.
So this is a tough thing for me. I mean, I like the band. I like Creedence Clearwater Revival. And if I were in that band, if I were in the Revisited, or if I were John Fogerty, I would say, look, guys, let's just bury all this shit behind us, because that's what it's petty.
It is.
Let's just tour together, because obviously, we're bickering, we're arguing. I think they really want to tour together. I think that's what they really want. But
so why do they keep suing each other?
I don't know. Look, think about it. Creedence Clearwater Revisited are touring, playing CCR songs.
Yes.
John Fogerty is touring, playing CCR albums in their entirety and playing songs.
They both have problems with it because they both feel entitled to be doing it.
Exactly.
So basically, they both want to go on tour. Like, both sides want to go on tour together. They just don't want to do it together. Yeah. Because they got issues with each other.
Why did they break up in the first place? Do you know?
No, something. No? I don't know.
Probably financial stuff.
It might have been something that would have been probably like, when did I can't think of John Fogerty's brother. When did he die?
Tom Fogerty. I don't know.
I know he left the band.
Yeah.
Around 1971 or something.
Yeah, and then they broke up the year after that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it was like partly related to all that.
Could be. Maybe that's the reason they don't want to. But that's stupid. Like they're messing up the legacy.
Shaking his head.
They're messing up the legacy of the band more by touring as Creedence Clearwater Revisited.
Well, they're messing up the legacy of the band by constantly suing each other. Exactly. Is what they're doing. And this is
it's Tom Fogerty's wife who's involved in this too. It's not just the CCR guys. So this is a really weird situation. It's just from an outsider, I'm thinking, why can't you guys just get along? Life is short. Just bury the hatchet. Just don't worry about all the legal shit and just get along.
Bury the hatchet, or forget where you buried it, so you don't dig it up and slaughter each other with it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Have you heard of a lawsuit like this before, where a band has just completely divided like this? What do you think of the thing?
They sounded like they were going to get back together several times. One side goes, I feel like I want to do this, and then the other guy, no, I don't want to do that. And now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we post new videos. You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Follow John on Twitter at Funky Dutch. You can help us out on Patreon, get all the videos a few hours before they go up on YouTube, as well as some other perks, and as well as the website, polyphonicpress.net. All those links are in the description, and that's about it. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
Take it easy.